Point Park Track and Field breaks records. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds aim to go back-to-back. The Winter Olympics come to a grand conclusion. It's time to come on down to Pioneer Sideline. Good evening and welcome to Pioneer Sideline. I'm Matt Plangy back for another week of sports news. We have the latest Point Park and local news and all you need to know about the Winter Olympics. To start, Edmi Idalis reports on the first ever women's lacrosse victory.
This past Saturday, women's lacrosse went up against the Ursuline Arrows at home and brought Point Park its first win in program history. The Pioneers did not just bring a win, they brought a dominant one with the final score at 21-2. When head coach Eric Ingram was asked how he felt about the game, he said, quote, "I was so excited after all of the hard work the team put into preparing for the first game. My expectations were high and the players did not disappoint at all," end quote. Some of those notable players were Tessa Huber, Andrea Kinger, Emma Diaz, Kylie Leisure, and Gracie Favela. Huber led them with 4 goals and 4 assists, but all of these players achieved a hat trick within the game. As for the game itself, the Pioneers dominated the field from the start. About 2 minutes in, Huber scored their first goal, assisted by Leisure. After that, the momentum continued to the end, with the defense only letting up 2 goals the entire game, leaving the Arrows at a loss 21-2. Next, the Pioneers will be facing Lake Erie at home on Friday, and on Sunday, the Pioneers will take part in an exhibition game against Mount Aloysius at home. Good luck, Pioneers! Next, Layla Shervon gives us the latest on the men's lacrosse team. Layla?
Last Friday, under the lights of Highmark Stadium, Point Park men's lacrosse team not only took home their first program win, but also the first Pioneer Cup. Point Park went up against the Malone University Pioneers, and this game made its debut as the first annual Pioneer Cup as part of Point Park's debut season of GMAC. Point Park trailed behind 1 point in the first quarter, then came back strong in the second and third, scoring 8 goals. Having a 2-goal lead, they secured their win in the fourth quarter and ended 11-9, favoring the Point Park Pioneers. Grant Huber and Parker Bowersox led their team with scoring 3 goals each. In addition to their goals, Huber ended his game with an assist and secured 7 goals on the early season. Bowersox picked up 2 assists and secured the 5-point game high. Also leading the team, Sawyer Lecco recorded 2 goals and assists, and Mario Lawrenson with 16 saves on the night. Upcoming, the Pioneers have a non-conference matchup on Saturday at Highmark Stadium against Holy Family University at 4 p.m. Now back to Matt reporting on Point Park's dominant return to the track and field championships.
Now let's run a recap on this past weekend as the Point Park University track and field team traveled to the Chris Klein Indoor Track Facility in Huntington, West Virginia, aiming to achieve yet another year full of podium placements in the conference championships. Starting with the women's team, the Mountain East Conference awarded Dunya Van Den Toren the honor of MEC Field Athlete of the Year. Van Den Toren was the highest point scorer of the weekend and was named the event's most valuable player. She set a new school record in the pentathlon with a score of 35-33, earning a silver medal, but broke the program record in the pentathlon high jump with a height of 1.74 meters, 16th all-time in NCAA Division II. The rookie, Alexis Haller, broke her previous record in the shot put. At conferences, she set a new mark of 13.13 meters. Cassandra O'Connor continues her remarkable status with 2nd overall in the 5,000-meter race, putting up a time of 17 minutes and 22 seconds. The women's DMR earned 3rd in the conference with runners Lotte Zetov, Maya Greshner, Sabine van Wastenhagen, and Aubrey Smith. The men's team also placed 3rd in the DMR with runners Pedro Lemos, Maxwell Eaton, Chase Bowen, and Eli Bechtel with their team time of 10 minutes 13 seconds. MEC Field Athlete of the Year went to another Pioneer, this being Akeem Mustafa. Mustafa took home the long jump championship with a distance of 7.37 meters. Additionally to his performance in the DMR, Maxwell Eaton also set a program record in the 400 meter with a time of 48.88 seconds qualifying for finals. The women as a whole placed 2nd overall, adding another trophy to the already full track and field case. The men placed 4th, just barely falling short of the podium. Now, to get more details on this past weekend, I'm joined by track and field athletes Ika Vanderlei and Dunja van den Toren. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and giving me some intel on this past weekend. I want to ask you guys, is practice any different going into conferences than it is for the regular season?
The last 2 weeks have been far more easy, which has been great. My body felt ready to go, so that was great.
Is there a reason it's easier now?
Yeah, just to give your body like a rest. For
Gotcha.
all the weeks before, we had hard practices, but
Yeah.
now it was fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, our team, especially on the distance side, we taper down. So I come from 65 miles down to 45, just to make sure I'm ready for championship season and the body isn't too beat up before starting.
That's good to know. I want to ask you guys, when either of you guys place like good in an individual performance, you break a school record, you break a personal record, how do you keep your head up, not let it get to you, and continue to perform so you can do even better the next time, even though you set a high bar already?
I think we're not too focused on the goals that are set or the records. I think they'll come if the running and training has been going well. So it's always nice to break a record or try and beat your own personal record or a school record. It's just not something we really think about. It's just something that comes along the path when you train well.
Gotcha.
And if you do it well, you know, the next time, next championship, you have to do it all again. So you always have to better yourself.
So it's more about like doing the best so your team can win, and that's kind of the mentality for every performance and meet?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So I want to ask, even though it's a very, very individual-based performances, a lot of the stats that get marked are about your individual performance, but how important is it to work well with your team, have good team chemistry, practice well together? So how important is it to have a good team?
Our coach has been really on this for the past couple of weeks. And during this conference, like we were like this big team. The distance talked to the sprinters and we supported the throwers, and everything just came together and it really helped. We almost won. So.
Yeah.
I think having such a supportive team and especially going to each other's events. Like, for example, I'm a distance runner, but I have no clue about what the throwers are doing technically
Yeah.
in training. But it's always nice to be at a meet and be able to support each other, because even if you don't know what somebody specifically is doing, you can always yell as loud as possible to someone to try and make them perform as well as possible.
And do you guys also run with your teammates, like outside of practice, like work together on like outside of practice, just going on laps and just running outside of it?
Yeah, and we're dating, so you know, it works.
Yeah.
Also outside of practice.
You guys try to beat each other, like run who can run faster? Do you guys ever do that?
Well,
No, there's no need in that. I'm mostly winning that.
So you guys try to stay on the same pace as each other?
No, I don't think. Well, if we specifically train together, it will probably almost always be on the treadmill, so we can do our own paces just together. So it's still fun to talk about. But if I'm with the distance team, yes, we do more than just have the organized practices, but also our easy runs when they're in and out the city. That's also together. So that's nice, and I think for them it's the same. Just whenever, if you can't go to the organized practice, the first thing you do is probably text in the group chat, hey, somebody else still needs to train, and then you can go
There
together.
you go. That's awesome. That's really, really good to hear. Do you guys, I want to ask a more fun question. Do you guys have pre-meet routines? Like, is there something that you always do to stay locked in or stay feeling good? Like, do you eat the same thing, listen to the same song before a meet, or do you guys just go in?
well, I think we, like this conference, we watched the Winter Olympics, which really helped like get us in the mood of winning. But normally we just, I don't know, see some friends, see each other, and we were on the same hotel floor, so that was great.
Yes, no, it's very easy. We're also, especially for me, before the meet, I have the tendency to get very anxious and nervous, so I always look for her in the final 20 minutes before a race, just for a quick talk and just calming my own nerves mostly. So
That's good.
And I'll try to get a go-go squeeze in, just because it tastes great.
A go-go squeeze before every time you run?
Yes, I would say
Every
so.
single time you run?
Every single time I run.
That is unbelievable to hear. And now another fun question, indoor versus outdoor, with the outdoor season right around the corner. Do you guys have a preference of what you like of running indoor versus outdoor?
Yes, I very much like outdoors better. It's because the warm-up drills, etc., are just in a bigger area than it is on the indoor track, since it's very crowded. But on the other hand, I like the indoors. It's smaller, so it feels bigger because everybody is closer to the track. So it feels like every eye is on you on an indoor track, while outdoors everybody can do what they're.
Do you have a preference, Dunja?
I like them both equally, I would say, but outdoors is great when the weather is great.
Okay, I got you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Congratulations on the indoor success, and I'm so excited. I know you guys are going to have a great outdoor season as well, so thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now that's all for Point Park Sports, but we have a lot more in the week ahead. Women's lacrosse looks for 2 straight tomorrow afternoon at Malone. Tomorrow evening, men's and women's basketball host senior night against Wheeling for their last home game of the season. On Friday, women's lacrosse returns home against Lake Erie College, and on Saturday, men's lacrosse takes on Highmark Stadium as well in a match against Holy Family University. Tune in for more Pioneer updates right here next week, and as always, go Pioneers! After the break, local news that you don't want to miss. We will be right back. Welcome back. Becca Trulick is in the studio with a check-in on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Becca?
The Pittsburgh Riverhounds are back and looking to keep their United Soccer League championship title. The Hounds are officially in their preseason with a win against Duquesne University last week and then a loss to Lexington Soccer Club this past Saturday. The Hounds had a perfect run going into the game against the Dukes. Trevor Amon scored in the 19th minute when a well-timed pass from Brigham Larson found him inside the box. This then led him to kick a low shot that got under the gloves of the goalkeeper, resulting in the first score of the game. Then in the 35th minute, Ashwin Menon sent a crisp low cross over to Cody Daw, resulting in the Dukes' first and only goal. The game was then tied going into the half. Amon then scored again in the second half at the 54th minute. The Dukes had a couple of shots on goal, but none ended in points. The Hounds then went on to win 2-1. The Hounds' winning streak was snapped after a long-range free kick against Lexington Soccer Club. Albert Dequois scored in the Hounds' lone goal in the 17th minute, striking the ball and sending it over the goalkeeper. In a late pair of goals, Philip Goodrum received a pass from Aaron Malloy that he then headed in to tie the score. In the last few minutes, Malloy took a long free kick from about 50 yards out that landed in the goal, giving Lexington the win. The Hounds are now going into the preseason with back-to-back matches against West Virginia University and University of Pittsburgh. Now, Ryan Thiele on a devastating loss in the Bucko community.
Last night, baseball in Pittsburgh are mourning the loss of a true legend. Bill Mazeroski, the Hall of Fame second baseman, best known for one of the most unforgettable moments in the World Series history, has died at the age of 89, the Pittsburgh Pirates announced. Mazeroski spent his entire 17-year Major League career with the Pirates and is forever remembered for his walk-off home run in Game 7 of the 1960 World Series, the only one in series history that lifted Pittsburgh to a 10-9 victory over the New York Yankees and delivered the city's first championship in 35 years. Beyond the iconic blast, Mazeroski was a premier defensive player, earning 8 Gold Glove awards and selected to 10 All-Star teams. He still holds the Major League record for the most double plays turned by a second baseman. Pirates chairman Bob Nutting described him as, quote, one of a kind, a true Pirates legend, end quote, whose humility and work ethic and love for the game made him beloved by friends and teammates alike. His number 9 jersey was retired in Pittsburgh, and statue at PNC Park forever captures the moment rounding the bases in 1960. Tonight, baseball remembers not just a Hall of Famer, an enduring symbol and grit in history of the hometown pride. His memory was honored on Sunday in a spring training matchup against Baltimore. Let's keep it there, as today I'm joined by Luke McKenna to discuss things so far down in Bremerton. Luke, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
I just want to get started. You know, our offense has been hot. We were down 5-1 at one point, and we turned around and won the game back on Saturday. And that accompanied by Ryan O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, a whole bunch of all these offensive guys we brought in. How happy are you, or where do you see the offense going to start the season?
Yes, I'm really happy with how the offensives look so far, with all the new guys, especially O'Hearn homering against his former team, Baltimore. You have Brandon Lau, he's done pretty good. Jake Mangum, today he had 2 hits, and of course we have Connor Griffin, who looked really good today. It seems like all the pieces are coming together, and this offense might actually be competent this year, which would be huge.
Yeah, it would be great. Now, you mentioned Connor Griffin. Let's dive back into Connor Griffin. Right now, people want him on the opening day roster. I've been a fan of him going up on the opening day roster. Where do you see his timeline joining the team come mid-May or early April?
I think it's going to be similar to how they treated Paul Skeens. As you know, Paul Skeens was drafted #1 overall, and he made it all the way up to, I believe, AA just after being drafted. And then he pitched a few games in AAA to open the next season before they called him up. I think Griffin will play maybe a month in AAA, and then they'll call him up. I think we should be patient with him, as he's a generational talent, so we don't need to rush his development. He's still only 19 years old, so he's got a long way to go.
Agreed. Real quick before we head out, is there anything else you want the Pirates to lock in on to pick up in spring training?
I think the pitching has looked a little rough. We've given up one too many home runs. Obviously, our main starters haven't been playing. We won't have Jared Jones. But hopefully the bullpen can be a little more clutch this year. Last year, we blew a lot of saves, and we blew a lot of wins because the bullpen kind of sold out the game for us. So hopefully that changes this year. We added a few good pieces in the bullpen, and hopefully those additions help bring a change to Pittsburgh. I think this year we have a good chance. We really do.
I agree. So now all of the latest on the Winter Olympics and national news. Don't go anywhere.
Take them, cue them, open their mics.
Today marked the 1-year anniversary of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette strike.
Point Park University just hosted a campus-wide meeting.
Plans for the rapid transit bus line are not set to conclude until 2025.
Welcome back. Now Gabe Ebersol had an unexpected loss of a football star.
That is right, Matt. Rondale Deshaun Moore has passed away on February 21st at just 25 years of age. The Minnesota Vikings wideout was raised by his mother, Quincy Ricketts, in New Albany, Indiana, as the youngest of 4. A consensus All-American as a freshman at Purdue, Moore also won college football's 2018 Paul Hornung Award and was selected with 2021's 49th pick by the Arizona Cardinals. Significant knee injuries and back-to-back training camps sidelined Moore the last 2 seasons, but such as when he donated 100 Thanksgiving meals to his former elementary school, Moore has always created an impact felt far beyond the field. His former coaches and teammates describe him as a role model, describe his smile as infectious. Rondale Moore, the NFL receiver, may have been known for his speed, but Rondale Moore, the person, seemed to be known for his heart by everyone close to him. We hope Rondale Moore is finally at peace, hope his family and friends had the time and space to grieve, and remind you to always check on your loved ones. Rondale Moore, may you rest in peace. Now, for our Olympic segment, Megan Lukich reports on the conclusion of the women's Olympic hockey. Megan?
Team USA is golden. On Thursday, the women's hockey team defeated Canada 2-1 in overtime to earn their third Olympic gold medal and first since the 2018 Winter Games. Expectations were high for both sides heading into this matchup, and Canada came out much stronger than they did in their 5-0 loss to the U.S. in the preliminary round. The game was scoreless after the first period, and Team USA had a power play heading into the second period, but it would be Kristen O'Neill scoring a shorthanded goal for Canada to get her team on the board first. Both goaltenders stood strong for their teams throughout the second and third periods, and it looked like Canada may be headed for their second straight gold medal and 6th all-time. But with about 2.5 minutes remaining, Team USA pulled their goalie and would tie the game with the extra attacker on the ice. USA captain Hilary Knight, who was playing in her very last Olympic game, tipped in a shot from defender Layla Edwards, and with her goal, Knight set the records for most goals and points all-time by a U.S. Olympian with 15 goals and 13 points. The new 3-on-3 format set the stage for an exciting overtime and another classic finish between these longtime rivals. About 4 minutes into the overtime period, Taylor Heisey sent a stretch pass from behind the U.S. net up the ice to Megan Keller, who dangled around defender Claire Thompson and put the puck past Anne-Renee Desbiens to seal the win and the gold medal for the United States. Team USA defender Caroline Harvey was named the MVP of the tournament, scoring 2 goals and 9 points in 7 games and setting the record for most points by a U.S. defender in a single Olympic tournament. Erin Frankel finished her impressive Olympic games with a .39 goals against average and a .979 save percentage, only letting in 2 goals on the 99 total shots she faced through her 5 games played. In addition to setting the records for most goals and points by a U.S. Olympian, Hilary Knight became the most decorated American hockey player in Olympic history, becoming the first American hockey player to earn 5 Olympic medals, and her final Olympic Games was capped off in the best way possible as Knight was given the honor of being one of Team USA's flag bearers at the closing ceremonies. There was truly no better ending that a legend like Knight could have had to her Olympic career. Now, Ryan Jones with a breakdown of the men's hockey gold medal game.
On Sunday morning, a lot like the women's final and the men's U.S. and Canada teams met in the gold medal game. Before the game even started, the big news was that Canada's captain Sidney Crosby will be out of the lineup due to a lower body injury he suffered 4 days prior to Czechia. Connor McDavid will now be the boss and wear the C for Canada, but now the time has come. Bright and early, 8:10 a.m. Eastern. Sticks are down, puck is down, let's go. Both teams started off hot, bringing the energy, especially leading enforcer for Canada, number 43, Tom Wilson, as he brings the boom on Dylan Larkin, setting the tone. Just a few minutes later, off a feed from U.S. captain Austin Matthews, Matt Boldy splits the D, and on the first shot of the night for the Americans, he slides it by Binnington to make it 1-0. Canada is stunned. Moving along to just under 2 minutes left in the second period, after the U.S. defense has been unstoppable all night, Canada finally gets on the board as assistant captain Cale Makar fires one far side on Connor Hellebuyck to make it a 1-1 game. Now early in the third, Canada was inches away from taking a 2-1 lead, but Hellebuyck says no, as he just gets a stick on a wide open shot from Tays and keeps the U.S. in it. After more intense opportunities and an insane missed too many men call by referee Scott Cherry, we're heading to 3-on-3 overtime. Not even 2 minutes in, the U.S. has an odd man rush off a missed chance by Connor McDavid. Zach Werenski feeds it to Jack Hughes, and the rest is history. For the first time since the Miracle Game in 1980, the United States is golden. An unbelievable tournament has come to an end as that game concluded the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan. The United States on top as Canada is seeking revenge in 2030 in France. Next, McKenna Smith wraps it all up with a Winter Olympics medal count. McKenna?
With the 2026 Winter Olympic Games now complete, the final medal table offers a clear picture of which nations dominated the Games. Norway finishes on top with 41 medals, 18 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze. Johannes Klæbo led the way in Milan Cortina, becoming the first man in Winter Olympic history to win 6 gold medals at a single Winter Game. The United States claimed second with 33 medals. 12 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze. Team USA's success was largely driven by its women, who accounted for over 8 of the nation's 12 gold medals. Alyssa Liu, Michaela Schifrin, and Alex Ferreira added to the final round of golds for the United States. Host nation Italy finishes with its total 30 medals, securing 10 gold, 6 silver, and 14 bronze. Francesca Lollobrigida emerged as one of the surprising people of the Winter Olympics, winning a gold medal in the 3,000 meter and the 5,000 meter speed skating events in front of the home crowd. Germany rounds out the top 4 with 26 overall medals, 8 gold, 10 silver, and 8 bronze. 13 of those medals came in luge and bobsled events, resulting in multiple double podium finishes for the nation. Georgia captured its first ever Winter Olympic medal thanks to a silver medal performance from its figure skating duo. Brazil, which began competing in the Winter Olympics in 1992, also made history. For the entire continent of South America, its first ever Olympic gold medal was recorded as Brazil topped the podium in giant slalom, a moment not only for the country but for the winter sports across the region. This Olympic cycle delivered a number of comeback performances, underdog victories, and historic breakthroughs that expanded the global reach of the Winter Games. As emerging nations continue to find success on the Olympic stage, the competitive landscape of the winter sports is beginning to shift in new and unexpected ways. The world will now turn its attention to LA for the 2028 Summer Games. Back to you at the desk, Matt.
And that is all for your news this evening. After the break, we are back with our Case of the Week. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. The Champions League is wide open, and surprise performers are leaving fans wondering who will take home the trophy. I'm joined by Lucas Strickland, Ryan Quinn, and Nick Stromito to discuss our picks and predictions. So everybody, let's start in the Champions League. Who do we have taking home the trophy this year? Luke, I'll start with you.
I've got Bayern. I mean, they've got Harry Kane, they've got Luis Diaz, they've got Nicholas Jackson when he decides to show up. I think they're a force to be reckoned with.
I agree 100%. I think Bayern right now are on a pace in this Champions League that is literally wide open. I think there wasn't a dominant team like PSG last year, and I think Bayern are going to slip through just because of the pressure that is not on because Harry Kane has already won a trophy. Nick, what do you think?
I'm going to take the team that beat them 3-1 earlier and hasn't lost a singular Champions League game so far, and that is Arsenal, of course.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because Arsenal literally, they haven't even drawn or lost. I'm pretty sure they've scored over 50 goals in the Champions League games thus far, and the whole team, just led by Arteta, the whole team is just meshed so good. And they played some in the group stages. They played some not that good teams, but they did play Bayern Munich and beat them 3-1 and looked really sharp against them. So if they can hold that up and continue playing the way they have been as we go to the knockout stages, I don't see why they can't get it done.
Yeah, Ryan.
I mean, it's a solid pick, but I just don't believe in the offensive capabilities of Arsenal in a two-legged performance like the Champions League. They got the win against Bayern, but if they face off against Bayern, they're going to want their lick back. So my pick, I think I have to go. I would love for Chelsea to win. I'm a huge Chelsea fan, but all right, I don't know why he's laughing, but I love Chelsea. The blue group, if they get drawn into the blue group, I think there is a possibility that things could happen where Chelsea have a possibility, but overall, I think Barca is the pick for me. I think their offensive capabilities in Yamal, Yafina, I can't remember his name. Oh my goodness. Lewandowski. Yep. Oh, that's gonna. But yeah, I think Lewandowski, that attacking trio that they have, has been incredible throughout the entire kind of. They've been very cohesive throughout the entire time they've been playing together. So I think if there's a team, I've got to pick Barca.
I don't know. They're pretty shaky. They've been real shaky the past few weeks.
I mean, that's just 2 weeks. They got plenty of time to regroup. They're leading the league in La Liga. I feel like they're top of the league. They're top of the league at the moment, I believe. Last time I checked.
I thought they were. I'm pretty sure they're behind Madrid.
No,
I thought they were behind by 2.
I'm pretty sure they passed Madrid.
Did they win this weekend?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay.
So that's why I have Barca. I think sometimes everyone has a couple of shaky moments. I think Barca is going to be able to.
It's just like everyone's been shaky. There is nobody that's set. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're Arsenal, who doesn't.
Oh my God.
But Arsenal recently, they've also, even though it's been in the Prem, they've been shaky. They have had struggles closing out games and letting those last-minute goals in.
Yeah, but every team goes through that in a season. It's a long season. Every team is going to have a bad stretch. Arsenal didn't have the bad stretch yet until these past few games. And you look up how they're rebounding. I'm pretty sure you're a fan of the Spurs. What happened? You lost 4-1.
Every season, though, Arsenal has had their bad run of form, and it handed City 4 consecutive titles. You're gonna come in second again.
Okay, so then let's move over to the Premier League. Do we think Arsenal bottle?
or winning? Yeah.
Winning? Okay, you think they're winning?
Yes.
Obviously, yes.
Yes.
What about you two? Do they bottle?
I think they bottle again.
No, they're not. My Lord.
I just have too much confidence in City. We've seen what City have done every year. Why would I not expect them to do what they've done before when Arsenal have yet to give me a reason to believe that they have a chance to actually win the league when time after time after time they've bottled it, especially if their bad stretch is about to come right now.
No, the bad stretch is done. They had the bad stretch, but they rebounded nicely. Yeah, they had those 2 ties where they had the lead convincingly, and they fell apart. But I think after that win against Spurs, I think that win helped them settle back down and just... they're able to put it behind them, and that win is allowing them to push forward now.
I think my issue is I don't find that Man City is also doing that well either. I think both teams are trying to both bottle it at the same time, and it's not like Villa or United. They're too far back.
That's also why I think Arsenal can do it, is because Manchester City,
it's not been a convincing season.
I'll be realistic here, right? There's been games we should have won, and we've ended up drawing or losing. But Manchester City hasn't really capitalized on that either. So, they're getting closer, but they could have been a lot closer than they are. They're not really helping themselves either.
So, surprise teams this season in both the Champions League and the Premier League, who do you have?
Okay, surprise team in the Champions League got to be Sporting. They upset PSG 2-1 at home. That's unheard of. They came up against title contenders. And then in the Premier League, I'm going to have to say Brentford. They have the second leading scorer in the league in Igor Thiago, and nobody's really picking up on it because of, it's Erling Haaland. So
Yeah.
I have to go with Premier League wise. I have to go with Forest. They just got 7th place last season, and right now they're just going through all the managers in the world at the moment. It sucks that your top striker Chris Wood's out, but hopefully maybe they're able to bounce back after that. As for the Champions League, I have to be another negative Nancy again. Inter, you face off against a Norwegian club, you lose to them. They had so many chances in that game as well to come back and. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even going back to your point of Inter, I'm pretty sure they played Arsenal too in the Champions League, and I was expecting a close game, and Arsenal destroyed them, and I was not expecting that.
It always goes back to Arsenal.
Anyway,
absolutely,
of course it does.
But I'm assuming you're going to say Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs. No offense, but I thought you guys were going to be a little bit better, and you guys might get regulated, and I didn't think I'd ever like be talking about that in my lifetime.
That's just sometimes unfortunately that's how.
But that's regulation. You're talking demotion. This is supposed to be a top team, and you're getting Oh my Lord.
Well, we will have to discuss this further at another time because that is all we have for this week. Be sure to join us next week at the same Pioneer time, the same Pioneer channel, and the same Pioneer sideline.
Go Gunners.